There is the full-time whistle. Spurs 1, Newcastle 2. It's 5 wins in a row for Newcastle. They are up to 5th in the Premier League table. They are level on points with Chelsea. They are 2 points behind Nottingham Forest. Spurs lose again. Spurs 11th in the table. Kwaku, hold that thought for a second. Abbi, your immediate reaction to this. What does this mean? Another defeat for Tottenham. Another defeat for Ange. How much longer can this guy hang on for?
I'll be honest.
I'm going to need more than that.
I'm getting there. When you look at it like that, the 10 losses. I mean, I think we're on track for 18 this season, and
that's a lot, isn't it?
It's a lot. But it's the 2nd of Jan. We've got a whole another half of the season to go. So when you look at it like that, and you look at it as 6 at home, no wins, like quite damning, isn't it?
Do you beat Tamworth?
Tough place to go and get a result.
Good team.
Good team. Do you want to let Kwaku just do his thing, Abbi?
Because
he's been away for a few weeks.
Let me get comfortable. Okay.
No, go on. You do your thing, Kwaku.
Spurs, they're just, they're a team that they give you hope, right? We beat City at the Etihad.
Man United away.
Beat Villa.
Beat Villa. What a team, right? When things are clicking, when players are fit and they're firing, they do their jobs. They get the job done. But ultimately, all you are, Abbi, all you are as a kid, you're at home. You look in the mirror, do your tie-up saying, today is going to be a different day. You walk through the school gates, lunch money taken, head flushed down the toilet, stuffed in the locker, tie peanutted, and then you go home.
That's a throwback.
You cry to your parents, oh my goodness, it's been a disaster, terrible day. Then the next day you go again. You hope for the best. But time after time after time, it's the same result. You get your lunch money taken every single time you step on the football pitch because you are perpetual losers. And nothing will change, Abbi. Nothing will change.
Abbi, your response, please.
Just looking at the table, I genuinely just want 40 points.
Really? Hey, sorry.
Spurs have
will
been
you get
on
40 points?
I don't know.
That's the relegation number.
I mean, between us and United, we are in serious relegation form.
You think you're in a relegation battle?
Well, United fans seem to think they are.
Are you in a relegation battle?
I mean, I feel like over Christmas I didn't look at the table that much, right? Because just vibes and no point. Just don't look at it. It's one of those things where it's out of sight, out of mind. And I looked at it the other day and I was like, God, we've been on like 22 points for months. Like, I don't think we've moved anywhere. And we've got 24 points. And I think 40 is a long way. Like, arguably, we're closer to the bottom than we are to the top.
Genuinely, what game do you win next? Liverpool in the Cup. All right, let's ignore Tamworth.
No, that's a confidence booster.
Tamworth in the FA Cup.
That's disrespectful to our Tamworth
supporters. That is.
Apologies.
There are other leagues.
Arsenal in the league.
Yeah.
Everton away.
Tough place to go and get a result.
Hoffenheim away in the Europa League.
On my birthday, also.
Then you play on the 26th of January, Leicester at home.
That's our next win.
Confident.
That's the long way away, Abbi, that is. That's like nearly next month.
You couldn't beat Leicester away. You're not going to beat them at home.
Yeah, but we should have beat Leicester away.
You should have done this.
We were good.
If my grandma had rules, she'd be a bite. You are not in a position to say you're going to win a single game.
I'll tell you what. We'll sack Ange. We'll go and have Ryan Mason for the rest of the season. Won't win a Carabao Cup. Won't win an FA Cup. Won't win the Europa League. Rather keep Ange.
Are you in a better place right now than you were when Conte left after you got battered by Newcastle?
No, but obviously everything Conte said was true. It's just he had to go. Because he also thought he was bigger than the club, which you're going to say he was bigger than your small club.
Will Ange be here? So obviously, New Year, we talk about like resolutions, all that kind of stuff. Will Ange be here by the end of 2025?
No, I don't actually think he'll be here in the summer because I've seen managers sacked for far less. But my own opinion, which is not the opinion of the fan base, I would still keep him because I don't see the point. Obviously, if we manage to slip into the relegation zone, I will maybe feel differently.
Change.
But give me some players back, and then I'll talk to you at the end of Jan.
But then surely any other manager looks at Spurs now and they go like, okay, they've had Jose, they've had Conte.
Exactly.
They didn't work. And then they've gone for an Ange who's a bit more maybe different, progressive, whatever it might be. That didn't work.
Do you know why? Because there's only been one manager in my whole life where it has worked who was in the middle enough to make it work.
And that was?
Pochettino. That's it. He's the only manager that has managed to make it work.
Currently managing USA.
And then once again, he was another manager that was failed by the people above him. Because after taking Tottenham to the Champions League final, there was two transfer windows where he wasn't able to buy a player. That's a failure from the people above the manager.
What do the people above need to do?
Leave.
Okay, but
Leave my club.
But they leave, and then what happens? Like,
Sell it to someone that wants to actually invest in the club and not just think of it as a part of a portfolio.
They do still put it's not like you haven't spent money.
Yeah, they do, but this is money that needs to be spent. Okay, we bought Solanke. So if you're looking at the surface, you've got one big shiny signing, which is Solanke, which needed to happen because you sold Harry Kane, because you failed Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Harry Kane said, I will stay here as long as you're matching my ambition. Haven't matched your ambition for years. Harry Kane had to go because I understand Harry Kane deserves to win trophies. He's a generational player. He deserves to be happy, and I wish him well. Okay? I wish him very well. And it will make me happy to see him do that because he gave everything he could to Spurs, and he always said, I'll stay as long as you're matching my ambition, which they didn't do. Arguably, he stayed too long because we wouldn't let him go. In terms of that big shiny signing in Solanke, which had to happen, I really like Archie Gray. Really, really like him. I also really like Lucas Bergvall. Who else we signed in the summer?
Odegaard.
Odegaard, who's been injured the entire season as well.
Yeah.
Saw him play 1.5 games, actually looked half decent, been injured ever since. So I can't really count him. But I really like Lucas Bergvall. I like Archie Gray.
But Abby, this is all great, but just everything we're saying about above is correct.
Yeah.
But in terms of Ange right now, in terms of what we're watching, if you could get into a room with Ange, would you say to him, we love the stacking philosophy against certain teams and we've got all of our fit players, but you need to adapt.
So what do you want him to do today?
Adapt to the situation. I'm not specifically saying today.
I actually thought we played well today.
But we know this is more than just today, right? In certain games, with your two best centre-backs injured, does he need to just say, we're going to drop a little bit deeper, we're going to be a bit more compact?
We hadn't spoken once about a high line today.
I actually think they've started doing that.
Did you speak about the high line? Did anyone speak about the high line against
Yeah.
Wolves? Anyone speak about the high line against Wolves? No? So we're talking about the Liverpool game. You're playing the best team in the whole of Europe with your injuries as well. Yes, that game, again, if it's 5-3, it sounds a lot nicer than 6-3. Obviously, you know how deadly Liverpool are. Could you have played a less... I didn't actually feel like the line was that high the whole game against Liverpool.
No,
Some
I think
people
you've got
think...
better.
I don't think it's as high as it was last season, but no one wants to look at that.
Liverpool have been great season. They haven't scored 6 goals against anybody else apart
They
from
scored
you.
5 against West Ham the other day.
That's not 6.
I'm not excusing the behaviour of Spurs. I'm not excusing that. There are things that need to be tweaked. He's not perfect. I'm not saying that.
We gave you a 2-goal head start.
Yeah, and then two individual, complete brainless moments cost Spurs. Otherwise, if they don't do that, we win the game 3-2. That's not a lie, is it?
Okay.
These are individual moments. You want to take it back to Leicester. That game, Spurs were absolutely battered
ultimate
Leicester on their first game.
copium.
No, yes, it is copium and slight hopium, and we'll take it. And that's all I've got. It's all I've got. And I just hope that they'll get some players back. And I just hope that we have just put everything in the Europa League. Just put everything in it.
But you don't think Ange will be the manager come the start of next season?
Do you think he can deal with it himself? Like the way he is sometimes in press conferences, it feels like it's getting. To him
he
a
literally
lot now.
he made Conte literally the angriest.
Yeah.
Jose the angriest. Poch, even he was angry at the end. So I just
Poch
don't
had a lot to be
know.
angry about, to be fair.
Poch had loads to be angry about. I just don't know. There's one common denominator in it. So yeah. Do I think he'll be there in the summer? I'm not sure.
But
What do you guys
look
think?
at Manchester United though. Like, look at Manchester United. They spoke about the Glazers all the time, and
Yeah.
I actually do. I agree. Like it's not good what they've done. However, they get this new ownership. Then get this new ownership in. It's not like it's going fine and dandy over there. If anything, it's getting even worse.
Getting worse.
So just because you get new owners in or new people that invest in the club, whatever it might be, doesn't mean like the next season you're going to be battling for the league or you can get better. There's so much more to that.
It does also take time to build,
Yes.
right? So obviously with Ange, yes, we have signed players. Yes, there are young players that fit into the system, and you've had the injuries on top of it. So when it's all going fine, and if you could just get a bit of consistency, I think that's what's so frustrating for Spurs, that there's just no consistency whatsoever, and that is a combination of various different things. But it takes time to build a squad that can do that, to get back into the top 4 or to creep up the table or compete in any way. So if you're still looking at this when you've got a 33-year-old Son who the fan base is very, very split on, he's out of contract as well soon. So that's another one. We should have already had that replacement, someone that can walk into the team already there. Like Solanke goes straight into the team, Maddison goes straight into the team, Kulusevski. So it's adding that quality to your squad as well and getting rid of the old guard. Fraser Forster should never be there. Let's be real. Ben Davis should never be there. Son. We should be having Son's final season. It's a big send off, and there's we've already got the ready-made replacement there. He's coming on rather than trying to still rely on him when he hasn't been that level for ages. So there's lots of different factors with that, and it takes time. He's been there a year and a half, so he's had three windows has he had?
They've almost missed the middle where
Yeah.
you've gone from now these super aging ones to these super young ones.
Which is why in the
and
summer,
you needed a bit of a middle.
when we were looking at when Eze's coming to watch games at Spurs, and you're saying that's a perfect target to go and get someone that walks into the side, or Conor Gallagher, regardless of the Chelsea thing, would have been a perfect person to come in as start for Spurs or push Basuma and be that type of person. So you're looking at these things that come in straight to the side. We don't have that apart from Solanke. So Archie Gray and Bergvall, they would never have been getting this many minutes if there wasn't so many injuries. They would have been reserved strictly for the Europa League and Cups. And now you're relying on them.
I think you've also been unfortunate in the fact that this season there are so many other good teams.
Yeah.
Brentford are great. Brighton are great. Nottingham Forest are unbelievable. Whereas obviously traditionally, I guess, give it even 5 years ago, these teams aren't getting as many points.
That is on the board to be able to back your manager enough to be able to compete.
Yeah, well, I would agree to an extent. The ownership group are not amazing, but
it's just not. It's not always green.
It's not
always dandy afterwards.
It's not like, and for example, we're seeing David Moyes. He's at the Etihad going to watch Man City play West Ham. But you look at
bring him home. Bring him home.
You look at West Ham, who spent all of that money.
Yeah. But wrong, that's also down to, again, wrong manager.
Managers are the most important person at a football club. And unfortunately, right now, your manager's not getting the best out of your players because of extenuating circumstances. You have had injuries and you have had suspensions, but also it's incumbent on the manager to figure out how to get results. Because I feel like the situation at Wolves was unfair on Gary O'Neill. But ultimately, you're not getting results. Something has to change. They bring in Vitor Pereira, they win 2 games. So it might come to the point where, yes, there are reasons why Ange's succeeding, but you might have to change manager to change the results.
I understand that, and this is why I say he's not blameless in it. It's just my opinion. I wouldn't sack him at this point. I wouldn't. But I also think there is a lot of player power in that. If you have a look at the Wolves and the way that they have responded to having that new manager there, they weren't playing for the manager. I don't look at the Spurs side. I've seen them down tools. That's not down tools.
Okay.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.